Hello and thank you for joining me. I hope you're all well. My name is Alan and this video is going to be about home security and safe rooms, but whilst there's still a rule of law. Stay with me. So first of all, what we're actually going to be talking about is burglary. Yeah, in the UK, burglary is basically committed. It's if a person enters a building or part of a building as a trespasser with intent to steal, cause damage or commit GBH, grievous bodily harm, to any person therein. It also used to include, back in the day, if the person also raped any person therein. I don't think that's in there now as such, because that would be dealt with as a separate offence, and let's face it, that's a more serious offence. And yes, that's me in a previous life, so please don't hold that against me. To put it into perspective, in the US there are approximately 2.5 million burglaries in a year, of which over 1.65 million of them are classed as home invasions. And that would be a burglary that's committed, whilst the residents are in situ. Now in the UK, residential burglaries, because we have non-residential burglaries and we have residential burglaries. In the UK, residential burglaries are around just over 200,000 offences committed each year, and it is approximately 30% of those are committed when there's somebody actually within the home. So what we're going to do is discuss various security measures. Now remember, this is whilst there is rule of law, and then we will move on to a safe room. It's much easier than you thought, and the items that would be beneficial for you to keep within your safe room, and of course my logic as to why I'm suggesting it. So front doors, back doors. The majority of properties have a UPVC door, and the type of lock that is fitted is primarily the Euro lock. Now this is where the problem is. You need to inspect the locks for your property, and what you're looking for is on the face of the lock where you put the key in, you're looking for 3 stars and a diamond shape or a heart shape. They are anti-snap locks. If your locks do not have those emblems on display, then your locks are prone to be snapped, which enables a burglar to gain entry literally in about 10 seconds. If you want to Google how it's done, that's up to you. I'm not going to actually go into the ins and outs of how it's committed, but that's the reality. So the first thing to do is, if your Euro locks are not marked, then I would suggest you have them changed, or if you're a competent DIYer, change it yourself and save some money. So that's your first job. What you can also fit, once you've changed your Euro lock, is something called a sash jammer. They are relatively cheap. They look like this. I got 4 for about 12 quid. They're a cast metal of some description, and basically they're fitted to either the door or the door frame. If you've got a door that opens outwards, then the body is fitted to the door, and then what happens is when you close the door and lock up of a night or during the day, depending on how you are, you then rotate that for 90 degrees and that butts up against the frame, and it's fairly tight because your door's closed. So if they have managed to snap the lock, there's minimal give in the door for them to actually get anything under there and to jam it. And one of the problems with a door that opens outwards, especially a UPVC door, is that they can access the hinges. So if you've got an outwards opening door, you want 4 of these. yeah, and you're going to fit them 6 inches, 6 to 12 inches from the top of the door on both sides, and again from the bottom, yeah, so you're going to have 4. So if they take the hinges, you've got something holding the door still in place. If they go for the lock side, again, so you've got security in 4 additional places. They do these that are lockable, so you can lock them and unlock them from the outside. You might decide to do that. Just think though, whatever you do, when you're locked up of a night, if there is a fire and you need to evacuate, you need to be able to get out quickly and not be fumbling or looking around for additional keys. So just bear that in mind, yeah. Something like this on the inside when you're there, it'd be up that way round. The reason I'm saying that is if you fit it that way, so it's down, yeah, and then up, if they were rattling the door, it could potentially work its way down. So if you fit it the other way round, when it's down, it can't physically move any further down. So as I say, the cheapest chips, Screwfix, Amazon, whatever your local DIY store is, yeah. Windows, you should make sure your windows have working locks on them. If they're a bit worn, if you're a little bit unhappy with them, again, you can purchase these and also use them on the windows, yeah. Patio doors, when I say patio doors, these are the large glazed doors that slide, yeah, notoriously point of entry from burglary, yeah. You can put a spade or a shovel under there and actually lift it out the runner. They do patio door locks, again they're not expensive, 10, 12 quid each. You might want to fit 2. This is what they look like, yeah, and basically it will, if they defeat the lock, it puts a steel bolt in through the frame and it prevents that door actually sliding. So again, they're not expensive, and if you're a competent DIYer, again they're relatively easy to fit, or if you're not comfortable, you'll have to get someone in to do it. Another thing you can do is that when your doors are closed and you look at the bottom, there's a recess where that door slides backwards and forwards. You can measure that and get a piece of batten, a piece of wood, cut to length, and slide that into the recess. That way, if they do defeat that lock, the door cannot physically slide anymore because you've got that piece of wood, yeah, that's actually in the bottom recess. So that's another option. When it comes to French doors, which are basically doors that open outwards, yeah, into your garden, etc. The majority of them, again, have got the Euro locks, so you need to look and consider changing them to an anti-snap lock. And then there are companies around that do various locks that fit over the handles on the inside, so they act as a visual deterrent from anyone approaching outside. And basically they lock the handles in a horizontal position. So even if they've snapped the lock, they can't operate the handle because the device on the inside is jamming it. Yeah, I use them in my property, and the ones I've got are from a company called Securian. There's a picture showing now basically what it looks like. Again, there's different manufacturers, different types. They're around 30 to 40 quid a piece, yeah, but it is what it is. Some use a padlock, others use a lock, as in a key operated lock, others use a bolt. Again, think about worst case scenario, you've got to get out. So if you're going to faff about trying to find the key for the padlock, might put you off a little bit, yeah. The type that I use from Securian have got a threaded nut, a bolt rather, that goes in the top, and it's got like a thumb wheel on the top of it. Now you're not screwing it in to the point that you've got to get it that tight. It goes in from the top, so you've got gravity helping to keep it in position. All it's there for is to stop the lock falling off. Yeah, so it's just literally finger tight and it will secure it. That way, if you do have to exit through French doors, it's very easy just to unscrew it, the lock comes away and you've got access to your doors and you can escape as normal. So that's pretty much some quite cheap, really, devices that will help secure your doors, windows and patio stroke French doors to your property, and make it much more harder for someone to actually gain entry. We know that if people are that insistent they will find a way, and at the end of the day all you can do is stack up layers to make it as hard as possible and to hopefully deter them and let them go elsewhere for easier pickings. The other thing I'd recommend people have is an alarm system. I am very happy with the Ring alarm system. It can be a little bit expensive. I made the majority of my purchases on Prime Day and things like that, so I saved money on them. Yeah, I've been using that system for coming up to 12 months and I have never had a false alarm. Yeah, it's a standalone system, you get it, install it and it works. It is based off your internet connection because the app on your phone will receive alerts when different sections have been activated or when the alarm's been set or disarmed. And if your internet goes down, you wouldn't receive those notifications. But there is also the opportunity to pay a subscription, which I think is about £8 a month. I mean, as I understand it, there is a SIM card within the alarm box, and in the event of Wi-Fi going down, yeah, it goes over to mobile data. So you still get the alerts and it will come through by SMS you, yeah. So it's like mobile phone technology that's sending you those alerts. There is battery backup, so in the event of mains failure, security will be limited, but you will still have some security. What I like about the system, it is wire free, yeah. So you've got your normal PIR detectors, panic buttons, brake glass detectors, proximity switches fitted on doors, etc. And I rate the system. I'm very happy with it. You can have an external siren for it with strobes as well, but the sound is inside. Yeah, there's loads of add-ons. You can buy the base unit if you like, and then as your money permits, actually add on to that system to, you know, to get it to actually how you want it. It's got various stages on it. So for instance, when we're at home and we go to bed, we set the alarm system, and basically the only part of the system that is on are all the entrances and exits. Yeah, PIRs are not activated because if you need to get up in the middle of the night for a wee, last thing you want to do is set off the alarm system. Or if you've got pets, yeah, got a dog running around or a cat, you can set it so you're not going to have that problem. When you're vacating the premises, yeah, you can do a full set on it, and that puts every sensor online, and that's for your maximum protection. Yeah, I get an alert to my phone when the alarm's been set, I get an alert to my phone when the alarm's been deactivated, and obviously if it's activated in between, I get an alert to my phone. Another good thing about it is when the alarm is off, anyone that goes in and out of one of your doors, not internal doors, yeah, but your front door, your back door, or to outbuildings, or your garage, depending on how you've set it, you get a little chime on the alarm box. So we can be sitting there, me and a good lady, watching telly, and if I go somewhere, she goes somewhere, it will go ding dong as the door's opened, yeah? So if you're sitting there and you hear that alert, and you know that you're the only people that are supposed to be in the home, then you know that somebody's opened a door who isn't supposed to have opened it, yeah? You can then look on your phone and it will tell you which door has been opened and closed. It logs all the history, so times, etc, etc. So overall, I'm very happy with the system. There are probably other systems that are just as good, maybe even better. But I've only really got experience of the Ring system, and that's something that I'm very happy with. But having a security alarm system is a very good idea. So safe rooms, yeah, be a room in your property that is your fallback position, yeah, and you're going to make that as safe as possible so that if you do have intruders, yeah, you've got somewhere to retreat. Now in the UK, the chances of someone breaking into your property to actually target you specifically as a person, yeah, that they want to kidnap you or cause, yeah, harm to yourself is minimal. Yeah, the majority of burglaries are people that want to come into the property and take items of value that they can sell on. So just remember that. Also in the UK, firearms incidents with burglaries are extremely rare. So I'm not talking about a safe room that's got ballistic protection, yeah, because it is not something that we need to worry about really in the UK. However, having a room that you can retreat to if you need to is a good idea. And I would suggest that if you've got children, that perhaps you make one of your children's bedrooms your safe room or safer room, yeah. If it's just adults and, you know, if it's just a couple that's in the property and your kids are gone or whatever, you know, they've left the nest, then it would be your master bedroom, yeah. And what you want to do is think that if your alarm's gone off, don't do what you see on the telly, yeah. The guy picks up his golf club and goes to investigate. Yeah, because you don't know what you're dealing with. You're going to come a cropper. At the end of the day, your job is to protect your assets. Yeah, and when I say assets, I'm talking about family members, be it your children, your significant other, whatever. So in a normal home, yeah, a lot of this will apply if you're in an apartment or a flat, but in a normal home, you're looking at 2 stories, etc. Chances are you're sleeping upstairs. Yeah, your alarm goes off, you hear noises, yeah, you wake up, you think, hello, something's not quite right. First thing, yeah, safe room, especially if you've got kids, bang, get them into there before you do anything else, yeah. You want to make sure that you've got a solid wooden door. A lot of interior doors are just basically hardboard, for want of a better word, with like egg box or cardboard, yeah, within it. So pay a few extra quid and at least get one door that is solid wood. It will also help you, God forbid there's a fire, that you've now got a door that takes a lot longer for it to actually burn through, but I digress. Yeah, so you want a bedroom, you choose the bedroom that's best suited for your needs, you want a solid wooden door. Change the screws that are fitted to the hinges and the lock mechanism, yeah, because you're going to want to put a lock on it, at least one lock on the door. To much bigger screws so they get a better purchase. A lot of doors that are installed have silly little screws and they don't offer you the protection. Yeah, you might even have to reinforce the door frame. But solid door, change the screws on it. You want to fit at least one lock. Now the lock needs to be able to be unlocked from both sides of the door, especially if it's going to be a children's room, because knowing what kids are like, they might have the ump with you because you turn the Wi-Fi off and they've gone into the room and they've locked it. You now can't access that room, so you need to be able to get in there, yeah, from a safety point of view. So you want a decent lock that is operated by key. That's going to be your primary lock, and you then could go to the good old-fashioned, or say good old-fashioned, but the sash jammers again, 4 of them. Bearing in mind that the bedroom doors normally open inwards, so if anyone's going to put the door through, it's going to come in. So you need to brace it. You can also get brackets that you can fit to the frames, and you can drop a bar in there. Yeah, you've got to really use your noddle. Hinges, on the hinge side, they do hinge bolts that you can fit into the door. You don't have to do anything with it. When the door's in the closed position, the bolt goes through the frame, so it protects the door. It offers resistance to the door being pushed in because you've got another 2 points of contact in addition to the hinges themselves. Again, they're not expensive. Within your safe room, I would suggest that you make sure there is a mobile phone in there at all times. So it might be a good opportunity to dig up your old mobile phone. You've changed contract, bought a new one, yeah. Put a pay-as-you-go SIM in there and keep it charged up. Yeah, you don't want it, because if something happens and you've got to go into that room, the last thing you want to be faffing about with is, where's my mobile phone, where's this, where's that? So have a mobile phone in there so you can call the emergency services, retreat into that room, lock it, get on the phone, 999, yeah, call the boys in blue or whatever's needed. In addition, I would suggest you have a first aid kit that also has got trauma kit included with it, because there is the possibility that you might come across the intruder or get injured as you're retreating to that room. So you need a first aid kit in there to be able to treat any injuries that are sustained whilst you're retreating into that room. Now, whilst there's normal rule of law, yeah, a 999 for a suspect's on is normally an I call, yeah, it's an immediate priority, and as bad as people say things are, you should have boys in blue and girls in blue turning up within minutes to your home. So you're not looking at being in there for a long period of time. So do you want to keep bottled water and something to eat? that decision's up to you. But for normal rule of law in the UK, it's probably not a necessity. Same as, you know, toilet facilities, not really a necessity, because hopefully you're only going to be in that room for a maximum of half an hour. Yeah, you just want to be able to get into that room, secure that door, so you're now away from the threat with your assets, which are your members of your family. You might want a fire extinguisher just in case. And the next thing that you're going to want, and you need to think about this, and I'm not advocating that you have items in there that are doing damage to people, but if someone's got the intent to come into your property and they're actually physically looking for you, then you know that it's not really a straightforward burglary. Yeah, they want to kidnap you, cause harm to you, or whatever, in which case, you know, it elevates it to a completely different level. Now, unfortunately, perhaps in the UK, a civilian, the only thing a civilian can carry for self-defence is a rape alarm, a personal attack alarm. Everything else is a no-no, yeah? So any item that is made or adapted as an offensive weapon to be used against someone to inflict harm you'll be committing an offence. However, UK law also says that it is quite reasonable that you can pick up an object that is close at hand and use that to defend yourself, yeah, providing it's proportionate and you don't go too mad with it, which is going to be very difficult to actually think about it logically. But you might decide that in your safe room, because your kids are a bit of a pain sometimes or whatever, you keep your bat and your ball, because you don't want them playing with it in the house and breaking things. So you've taken it away and you've put it in a safe location. Yeah, depending on your size and your build, yeah, a baseball bat may not be the best thing. If you're female or you're a male and you're slight of body, they can be quite unwieldy, not only to grip strongly, but to swing. You might then think along the lines of, I don't know, softball bat, Rander's bat. Could go old school, get the old 6-cell mag light, yeah, or it might be that you had some tools in there from when you was doing a bit of DIY. But at the end of the day, if someone's now beating that door in to come in, you know that they're coming for you, and you've got to do whatever you have to do to defend yourself and your family, yeah. Whilst they are attacking, you are allowed to defend yourself. It's common law. The problem arises when the person is running away from your property and you chase them and then batter their brains out, yeah, because the force that you've used is not appropriate, you've overreacted, and you're going to get yourself in trouble, yeah. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of self-defence. I know people who say, no, you should be able to do this, you should be able. At the end of the day, we're talking about rule of law, yeah? Remove yourself from the threat. If they continue to come to you, at some point you've either got to kneel down and accept your fate or fight back. And if you're going to fight back, use whatever's at hand, yeah? If you need to smack them on the head with your bedpan 20 times, as if poke their head through the door, they've just broken down, then that's what you got to do, okay? So anyway, that's it, I'm afraid. If there's interest, I would then go on to perhaps other methods for when there is no rule of law, yeah, which could perhaps be boarding up windows, etc., etc. But that, as I say, will be, depends really if you want that sort of content, and then that would be a separate video. If you found this video of use, then give us one of them. Please consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. Yeah, it just helps to get the content out there a bit more. And of course, I would love to read your comments. Yeah, if I've missed anything that you think would be better or applicable, then please stick it in the comment section. Just bear in mind this is the UK and there is rule of law. Yeah, so I don't really want comments about machetes to cut people's hands off when they poke them through, or the use of firearms, etc., or other illegal weapons. Just think about it. Yeah, you're not allowed a weapon in the UK, but you can pick up absolutely any item that's at hand to defend yourself. Stay safe. See you soon.